Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, February 23rd edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. We are a subproject of SIG ContribEx, and we do operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. At the beginning of the call, we have picked up a process of going around and letting folks do introductions if they would like to. So I will start. I'm Caslin Fields, and I'm a co-chair of the Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience in Open Source Kubernetes, and I'm also a co-lead of this subproject.
I'm Ian
Anyone else who'd like-
Coldwater, pronouns they, them. I am co-chair of SIG Security, and Caslin's radio voice is sending me right now.
Love it. Also pronouns she, her.
I am Mario. I am Mario. I am doing technical stuff in SIG ContribEx comms, and I'm also part of SIG K's infra. And pronouns are he, him.
Hello, I'm Fred, he, him. I'm mainly on the blogging side of SIG ContribEx comms, and I'm also a part of the Kubernetes 130 release team.
Hey everyone, I am Arpit. I am currently shadowing under Kathleen for the social media stuff in the ContribEx form and also writing some blogs. Also, I am exploring various Kubernetes 6. So that's my info.
Hi everyone, I am Rajul and I am just an observer right now.
Welcome, welcome everyone. Glad to have you here today. And oh, I haven't sent out the link to the notes yet. I should do that real quick. All right, link to the notes is in the chat. Do go on ahead and put yourself in as an attendee and add any new items or updates, big wins that you want to talk about in this segment of the meeting. Also, would anyone like to take notes today?
Taking notes is an important part of helping the meeting go, and we really appreciate people who are contributing to the project by doing that.
I can take notes as long as I'm around, but I'm probably dropping out early today.
Okay, that works. We could hand off. Teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. All right, let's dive into things then. Oh yeah, I'm going to add one more thing before I dive into it. We'll do that when we get there. All right, let's dive into new items. I added one thing there, which I also posted in Slack, which is KubeCon tweets. I'm starting this project way late this time. I usually try to start it a couple of months in advance of the conference, but we are like 3-4 weeks out. So granted that, we're doing a slightly abbreviated version if you have done this in previous years. You might know that we usually do a post for each block of the maintainer track. So there are times when there are sessions happening in the maintainer track, and there will be a whole bunch that happen starting at the same time. So we'll usually do a post for each one of those. But that makes for a lot of posts. And they're kind of, they require a bit of work because you have to go and check the schedule and make sure that you're mentioning all of the right projects that are happening and make sure that you've got their tags if you can find tags for them. So we're just going to not do the individual blog posts about the maintainer track this time. Instead, we're going to do a single post when the maintainer track starts each day. We still want to talk about the maintainer track because it's where contributors to open source projects in the CNCF talk about the work that they're doing. So that is how this is going to work this time. We also have a very accelerated timeline, of course, to get these written. They need to be written by March 8th, which is exactly 2 weeks from today. So if you would like to help out with this, I would appreciate some help getting tweets written. The sheet is updated. It has a description of what the tweet needs to be or the post needs to be about. And I've already written examples for anything that's new. And there's also, of course, examples in previous years. Oh, another new thing about this time is that we have LinkedIn. That request to the CNCF to get that added to Buffer is still in progress, but we can at least get those scheduled manually. So we do want to post some to LinkedIn, and the way I have that set up is 1 post per day for LinkedIn because those can be longer. So I have a couple of examples of what those could look like in there as well. So if you're interested in helping, please go into that sheet and put your name as owner for any that you are interested in and get those written by March 8th. Any questions?
Yep. Like for LinkedIn, are we like planning for a longer form of content? Like if there's a maintainer track, we are tweeting about it. So the tweet is limited. But for LinkedIn, we can explain a bit further regarding the maintainer tracks, and even we can mention about some of the like some important like talks or something. We can mention about the maintainer tracks, like do attend these talks like this.
We could. The way that I have this set up right now is we just do 1 post on LinkedIn each day since it can be long. So it'll be like everything that's going to be happening that day at KubeCon just in 1 single post. If you wanted to write a separate LinkedIn post about the maintainer track, by all means, feel free to add a row and write it out. And if we like it, we'll send it out. But yeah, just because it's such a short timeline, just 1 post per day is what I have as the bare minimum in here.
Like we are going to cover the whole KubeCon schedule of that day in that 1 post.
Yes. Yeah, for LinkedIn, that's the plan. And I have a couple of examples of what that can look like in the sheet already. I'll send that link here in a second. There we go. There's the link to the sheet, by the way, for folks who want to check it out. And the LinkedIn posts still aren't super long. I just kind of did an overview of what would be happening each day. If folks wanted to add more detail, I'm open to it. Will be an experiment. Any other questions about KubeCon posts?
Given it won't be added to Buffer, you would basically post them on the fly, right? Or
The LinkedIn
so in
ones?
LinkedIn, yeah, LinkedIn. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know if LinkedIn has a scheduling option actually. But yeah, it will be up to the leads who have access to LinkedIn to get those posted. The way this usually works, one thing that I often forget to explain to folks contributing to it, is that you just write the posts in this sheet and then the leads will take care of getting them scheduled in the actual tools. So you don't have to worry about that part. Just write them in the spreadsheet.
I just tested. I mean, I don't have a premium LinkedIn account, and there's a clock, so I can schedule posts. Hopefully, this also works in groups. So potentially, this
Yeah,
also
that probably
can be.
works then. If I had to, I would get up in the morning and just do it, but I've done it before. But hopefully we can schedule them.
Okay, if I'm not wrong, Buffer. Okay, this is for future. Like when we get the LinkedIn in Buffer. If I'm
Mhm.
not wrong, Buffer does not allow to tag people in LinkedIn via names. Like for Twitter, it is @ and we can tag someone. But for Buffer, I think we cannot tag someone by writing the name for the LinkedIn.
Correct. Yeah,
So
there
when
is
we
supposed to be a way, but it like in my experience, it has not worked.
So like my doubt is if we are posting something for this large audience, the post would look somewhat professional. So that, and if we are not tagging anyone, just writing the name of the person, then
Yeah.
mm,
For these, I
how
don't have any tags in my examples of those posts. If you do want to tag someone in those, maybe mention it in the notes in the
no,
LinkedIn
this is not
post.
about KubeCon. This is just
Oh,
general
okay.
because we are post
Yeah.
after KubeCon 2 now.
Yeah. But for
So
KubeCon, we can at least do it manually. But yeah, going forward, that will be an issue. Good call out. Thank you, Arpit, for mentioning that. Cool. Any other questions about that? Awesome. Let me know if you do have any questions. I'll be in Slack. At me directly and pings about this so that I make sure that I see them. Yeah, and so get those written by March 8th. I'll start getting them scheduled in the tools by then. And feel free to share outside of our group. Anyone is welcome to write these posts. The other item that I added to new items is KubeCon meetings. Chris isn't here and he usually has opinions about this, but we'll see how folks feel about it here. So we already canceled our meeting for the week of KubeCon. I'm personally going to be out the week before KubeCon and the week after as well. So we need to figure out if we want to cancel those or have someone else run them. So I'll ask Chris about that separately. But if folks have opinions, you're welcome to share them now. Otherwise, we'll talk about it more next week.
I vote for canceling because we have an on-site meeting at KubeCon where a lot of folks are around and
Noted. Other opinions?
I also vote for canceling because if like folks are traveling for the week of KubeCon, they will be pretty much busy in other stuff too, like visas and all. So
Yeah.
might be if we also if we also decide to run the meeting with someone else, maybe the audience would be less.
True. An excellent
We
point.
can if like there's some work, we can do it asynchronously via Slack.
This is true. Cool. Anyone else want to share opinions?
I think Arpit made good points.
Yeah. Those are good points. Thank you very much, Arpit, for sharing this. Yeah. I think you're right. We'll probably go ahead and cancel not just the week of KubeCon, but the weeks before and after as well. So that'll be 3 weeks in a row that we won't have in-person virtual meetings. And
That
we'll
would
do
be a
everything
good
over Slack. That sound good? Cool.
That
Alright.
said, if we're canceling the week before, do we know for a fact that all of the things that need to be done leading up to KubeCon are going to be done far
The
enough
main
before
thing,
that we can all cover that the week before that?
yeah. The
You know what
main
I
thing
mean?
the main thing that I know of that has to be done for KubeCon is the KubeCon posts, which I know I'll be handling getting scheduled on the back end. And those are due the Friday that we'll have our last meeting.
Okay.
So I don't think there should be anything that we would need to discuss about those the following week. It'll just be on the leads to get those scheduled if anybody else wants to help me out on that. I'll talk to you all more about that later. But aside from
fair
that,
enough.
I don't know of any.
I just want to make sure that it's not just going to all fall on you, which like with love sounds a little bit like the backup plan, and I want to make sure that like you're getting help and not taking things on all by yourself.
Yeah. I can, yeah. Arpit, you might
Like,
want to help out in.
yep.
I'll put together a chat of folks who might be interested in helping out with the scheduling. Arpit?
Like, I have a opinion, like if we are going like if this time we are not asking folks to like join in and help us out for writing tweets, we can like schedule a different time and set up and like do it at once.
We could. I mean, I'm open to asking folks from outside of the group to write them this time, which is part of
But
the
we have limited time.
but we have limited time, yeah. So realistically, I doubt that we're gonna get that much outside help. The question is, can I find a time to do that? Possibly. Maybe after this. Not a bad idea. Thank you, Arpit, for suggesting that. I guess we can maybe spend some extra time after this call if folks have some time, maybe writing out a few of those. And then we'll see how far we get today. And then I'll start up a chat in Slack and we'll figure out if we want to set up another meeting to just kind of do it live. Cool. I like that idea.
Yep, like kind of like we did for the elections.
Oh yeah,
We
that's right. We did
do
that.
like that.
Yeah. An excellent point. Thank you, Arpit. Cool. So if you can hang out after today, we will work on writing some posts and perhaps getting them scheduled at the same time. And then we'll discuss it more later. Awesome. Any other questions, comments about KubeCon and or KubeCon meetings and or KubeCon posts? Cool. Sounds like nobody thought of any other projects that also need to be done by KubeCon either. So good. All right then. So I think that's all I have for KubeCon. The next item is in updates and big wins, and it's from Frederico. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, well, it's just a minor thing. It's the and it was already
Not a minor
planned, right?
thing.
It's the Kubernetes book club article was published yesterday, so that's out in both contributor site and website.
I'm so excited to read that. Thank you so much for pushing that through and getting it done. I'm so excited to see it.
I hope you enjoy it.
Yes, I most certainly will. One other thing, and Sujay joined. Sujay also has helped out with KubeCon posts in the past. So hi, Sujay. If you have any questions about that, we kind of already covered that, but do ask if you want a review. One other thing that you posted in Slack, Frederico, that we might want to talk about here is Shadow.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this was briefly discussed a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't send anything to the channel then, but I did today. So for everyone listening, this team is obviously composed of people that do a variety of different work. Some of us have specific roles that we are more active in, and that's why there's a lead of this and lead of that. Obviously, these are roles that are based on the expectation of rotation, of learning, of teaching, of preparing people to take over things and introduce their own new magic into the existing process. So what I shared in the channel is that the blogging lead position is not only open, it welcomes shadows with all its hearts, and anyone interested should just ping me or display their interest. I already have one interested party there, so thank you for that. So that we can, obviously there's no promise of an end role, but it's in typical community-based work. We will work together, learn together, and eventually people will be able to take on whatever degree of responsibility they think they are prepared to. So that's pretty much it.
And there is no rule that there can only be one shadow for a role at a time. So even though there's one interested person, don't hesitate to reach out. It's up to Frederico how many you think you can handle.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it's open, and one is great. If we have more, I will say, for example, that in the Kubernetes release team, each team typically has 4 shadows, right? So it's not strange or exotic to have more than one shadow. It's part of the process, even because people do shadowing with for different reasons. Some just want to learn and get more exposure. Others are targeting taking on further responsibilities on the road. But there's no one correct answer. Each one will participate and take from it exactly what it gives in. So it's I would appreciate anyone that's interested to add their name there, and I will work with everyone. Well, unless we have 20 shadows, but I'm not expecting that.
Yeah. And one thing that I've heard a lot of confusion about around shadow roles in the past is the idea of shadow roles is that you are learning about a specific role within the community. So in this case, you'd be learning about the work that Frederico does as a blogging lead and the expectations of that and how to do that work and all of that kind of thing. So the expectation would be that eventually you would become a blogging lead. It's not necessarily that you have to, but the idea is that that's what you're working toward. So that's what you would need to have interest in, is becoming a blogging lead at some point in the future. And that's why becoming a shadow would be a good task for you. Cool. And we do have shadows for all of our roles within our group, which you can find listed in our GitHub repo. As Arpit said, he's a shadow for social media, and we also have a shadow for sub-project leads. So you can always check there for what leadership positions are available in our group. And it's a living document, so we update those regularly. Well, not regularly, irregularly, whenever we feel like it. Cool. Thank you for talking about that, Frederico. Any questions about any of the stuff we've covered so far? Roles, KubeCon, blogging. Any questions about any of that before we move into the board? Cool. We are going to move into the board then. Let me grab that link and I'll put it in the chat as well. All right. So in the board, the first item we have, there's one item in Ready for Review, which is part of the SIG Cloud Provider. Oh, the SIG Cloud Provider Spotlight article. All right. Frederico, do you want to talk about that one?
Yes. Let me just open the tracking. Let me open the tracking board. Yeah, it's here. So this was the the article that we have been discussed with Arujwal since a couple of weeks ago. It was extremely quick compared with with the median of this kind of articles. I reviewed this with Arujwal during the last weeks, and it was pushed into the as a PR today. So we have a target date for next Thursday, which we can change depending on the review process, but it's already there. So this is the next one in the pipeline.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Arujval, for your work on this. I'm excited to see it. And no shade
Thank
to
you,
folks
Catherine.
who no shade to folks who have slower ones, by the way, because it's all about working with other people. Tends to be kind of slow, but nice to see one going quick.
Yeah. There's a small detail there. By the way, I might as well just mention here. I will add a comment in the PR. I didn't change it before submitting on purpose. I noticed, Arujwal, that you've linked to a blog post by Kathleen on the entry thing, which is perfect. Great article, perfectly adequate, etc. I seem to remember that there were some policies around linking to external blogs in some of the Kubernetes blogs. I can't remember if I'm dreaming this up, and if it's like from my past life during making a Kubernetes
No, you're
release. Right. Yeah. Okay. So it also applies to contributor site and to the main site. So these might come up, and if so, we should replace it with a Kubernetes equivalent or just a mention. Yeah.
So what we've done for this in the past is Chris wrote an article once on his personal blog that we then wanted to reference in an official Kubernetes.io blog. And what we did was we took a copy of that and posted it on the contributor site, and then we used it from there. I had not thought about this entry one. It makes sense as a contributor blog, actually. So maybe we should try that. Try to get that in as a contributor blog, and then we can reference it from the contributor blog here.
But in the meantime, I'm guessing that we will have some feedback on we shouldn't link to external blogs.
Yeah.
So maybe
Probably.
I'll keep an eye on it because I've opened the PR, so no worries there. I'm just mentioning this for it's nothing against the article, obviously, let alone the author, but it's mostly because of the policy that is in place.
Yeah. So if we want to do that,
this because of that pro article that I ended up writing with Chris, partially was also based on this.
Yep. And so this is how these things get slowed down. So if we want to go that route, it might get bogged down a little bit while we get that other article out. But yeah, I like the idea of putting that on the contributor site. So Frederico, I might reach out to you for advice there, but I think I could probably just go ahead and put a PR together for the contributor site, see if we can get that in quickly and reference that.
If you want, just if you think that as is, it's fine. I can do a pass at formatting it for the stuff. Send it to you for a. Yeah. Okay. So I'll pick that up.
Okay. Wait. What exactly did we just agree to?
I'll go to the article. I'll just make a markdown version of it with some light editing for the format. You take a look to verify that it's per your liking, and then you can open the PR. So
if you insist.
If it helps. Otherwise,
great.
just feel free to immediately push things alone, obviously.
No, that'd be great. I would appreciate the help. One thing that might be a little bit challenging with that is that I do think I have some images in there. So we'll have to
That's
see if
not
we want to bring those over or not. I know that
Yeah.
we can. In the past, I've had trouble with that, like figuring out where they
Ah.
go and stuff. But since you blog all the time, deal with our
No
blog stuff all the
worries. If
time, you
it's
probably
the-
know how to do it.
the technical aspect is fine. I was thinking it was like permissions,
Oh no.
copyright,
If
and
I
stuff
have
like that.
pictures in there, then they're mine. I
Okay,
don't care.
excellent. So no worries there.
Yeah.
The Kubernetes Blue Book Club has images, for example, and we've done it perfectly well.
Oh wait, I think I did actually use one that we probably don't want to move over in that one specifically, but we'll work that out as we do the process.
yeah,
Thank you for
yeah,
offering to
perfect.
help.
My pleasure.
Cool. And thank you again, Arujval, for getting this to this point. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, that was a great run from beginning to end, relatively quick, and
Yeah.
at all stages the content was really, really nice. So thank you for that.
Beginning to middle. Almost at the end.
Thanks.
Awesome. Before we move on, is there anything else that you wanted to say about it, Arujval, since it's your work?
It was a good experience, first of all, and yeah, like I responded to the shadow for the shadow role. So yeah, I'm interested in
Awesome.
that shadow role.
I'm glad that you had fun with it, and I hope that you'll continue having fun with our group. You won't be
It was
just
fun.
an observer for long. You're already not just an
Yeah,
observer.
that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah. Nice.
It sounds good.
Awesome. Love to hear it. All right, let's move on in the board. That's the word. Let's move into the in progress items in our board. So the first item in progress is the SIG architecture spotlight article. Frederico, you can't get away.
No, we're talking about which one? Sorry.
SIG architecture spotlight is the first one, and then SIG
Yeah,
API
yeah.
machinery is
So,
right after, if you want to cover them
yeah,
both.
there's no major updates there. I've discussed the code organization one. I've pushed a couple of more days because of personal issues with the author, and I wasn't able to book a slot this week on my side to have the one-to-one interview with the other one. So I hope that I'm able to do that one-to-one before KubeCon. And the other one, which is the normal process, I've just asked for a status update yesterday, and I'm going to ask another one during the next week. Those are the two that are missing from this series.
From the SIG architecture series.
Yeah.
Nice. Progress being made.
Um,
And then the
there's
next
an-
item was, okay, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think it's the API machinery one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
They are again still replying to the questions. We don't have a fixed deadline, but I've asked for the definition of one. So I guess by next week we will have a estimate at in order to know if we are delayed or not. I will say that by the mid of March we should have something. Obviously, KubeCon will perhaps mix things around a bit, but I'll let you know.
Understandable. So it goes. The next one is SIG-Node, which Arpit is here today. I think this is Arpit's, right? So any updates, Arpit? Your last
Yep.
update on February 8th was that the document hadn't been filled in by the chairs yet.
So the latest update is the document has been filled, and here is the doc link. So I actually need a suggestion from Federico ki do I need to add some more questions, or will this doc is okay to convert it into a block?
Did Federico have to go for a
No,
minute?
sorry,
there?
I was off. I was the connection went
Ah.
up and down, so I just heard 3 or 4 words and not more.
So I have shared the doc link in the chat. I want your opinion regarding is these if these questions are enough, or I need to
Okay.
make some more and then convert it into a blog, because this doc has been filled by the 6 years. And what do you feel?
But are we talking about which blog? Sorry.
Signal.
The signal. Okay, perfect. I don't think I think I had a look a couple of weeks ago. I think we discussed it briefly, but I haven't looked into it today. So maybe if it helps, I can give it a read and just come back to you saying what I think. And I have no reason to think that it's not ready to be published, but I can give it a review if you want.
Okay.
Taking a quick look at it, it looks like you've got a lot of content in here. So I think you're probably good to go, is my initial impression. But if that helps.
Absolutely, no, absolutely helps. And I'll take another look, not right now because I can't open anything at the moment. But during the weekend, I'll give it a look and I'll just any suggestion that I think should be reflected at the document at this stage, I can provide it to you. Otherwise, is this remind me? Is this on Google Docs or?
It is on Google Doc.
Yeah, perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want, you can already. If you want to do that part, otherwise tell me and I can certainly help. But if you want to have a go at that part of the process, you might want to convert that into Markdown and put it on HackMD. So if you think this is something that you personally.
The original draft which I will be forming is on the HackMD. This is just a Google Doc for the interview reference. The final
Okay.
draft I will be sending is on the HackMD. That's
Okay.
the Hack. This
Okay,
is
okay.
just easy to communicate with folks.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. So we're aligned then. Thank you.
Cool. So maybe Arpit ping Federico in a
Yeah.
DM in Slack the links that you want him to review, and he can check over those for you later and make sure that you're good to go. And MD. All right. I've updated the comment in the board item as well. All right. Next item is the spotlight on cloud providers, but we already have that one, right? Yeah. So this is just a duplicate. I'm going to remove that from the board, I think. Or I guess I'll just move it over to ready for review alongside the other one. Cool. The next item is the spotlight on SIG security. Sriram was interested in taking that on. I haven't talked with him about it. Has anyone else talked with Sriram about spotlight on SIG security?
I haven't.
Cool. And I was in the SIG security meeting this time, and Sriram wasn't at that one, so might be on hold for a minute. We'll come back to that later. The next item was the help wanted posts. I'm very sorry to Sundapun that this kind of got bogged down. But since we're so close to KubeCon now, the plan is to do these help wanted posts based on what will be happening at KubeCon EU. Anyone have anything else they want to say about it?
I honestly would also then, I mean, if someone has the time at KubeCon to immediately ask the folks after the time slot to say like, hey, do you also want us to to bug around. I mean, I posted the link that Nigel put up. I don't know if it's filled yet or not. It was supposed to be pre-filled before KubeCon, so that we can basically print it out immediately. Snitch the people off the stage, so when they leave the stage, basically someone goes there, bug them, hey, do you want also us to do a social post on this, so that we can prepare this. I probably won't be able to do this
Definitely not.
because I have other stuff to do.
But
But
Chris is supposed to be on site. He might be able to take it on.
this would be
So.
good.
Yeah, we can ping him and ask. Anyone else, if you're planning to be on site and you think you might have some time at the contributor summit to help us out with this, let us know.
Well, I'm going to be on site, and, but I don't know. But
You'll
I'm
be helping
shadowing
with Dev, right?
Yeah.
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 Whatever it's needed.
You also have something to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. I think you'll be busy. I think I'll be busy. I think Ian, you'll be busy. But Chris, since he got his confirmation late, he might have a little bit of space to take this on.
Yeah.
I'll ask him in Slack. I like that plan though, of just trying to like do it on site. Just go ahead and get them drafted right there. Maybe schedule them to go out for the next several weeks or something through Buffer, but just get it ready to go. Get these all drafted on site. I need to fill in that sheet with our SIG's help wanteds. All right, I have updated that. Thank you, Mario, for that overview and suggestion, and I will ping Chris to see if he has space. And like I said, anyone else, if you're going to be on site and you think you might be able to help, ping me and we can talk about it. Cool. Next item. We've got 9 minutes left and we're almost done with the in progress section of the board. We're doing great. That might be slow. The next item is establishing a process to prevent duplication in LWKD articles. I know you didn't get to do any work on
Nothing.
this week, so.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Next one is set up LinkedIn on Buffer. That request is in progress with the CNCF. I got a comment on it yesterday, which I responded to. So hopefully we'll get it before KubeCon, but we'll see. Next one. Automation, use the Zapier. Also, I saw an ad for Zapier on YouTube yesterday, and they said Zapier in the ad. So now I don't know what to think.
I mean, the problem in the because of how we pronounce it, right?
Yeah, just on the pronunciation.
Yeah. The only update is that it's agreed on that we just publish things. So there's no more waiting list for videos because according to Bob, there was one case in 3 years where a video recording was taken offline afterwards.
And that's across
then
all SIGs, right?
Yeah, it was one time in 3 years.
Yeah.
And I think then it's considerable to just do it.
In the SIG security meeting, there was an interesting discussion about that.
Go ahead, Keslin.
Do you want to go ahead, Ian?
I can. I think that number does not include SIG security. SIG security does not use any of the automation for video uploading. The trade-off for that is that our video uploading tends to be slow across our sub-projects because it's a manual process. But the reason why we don't use the automation is because the nature of security related meetings is such that occasionally somebody says something for one reason or another that needs to be redacted. And we make sure that there's nothing in there that needs to be redacted before uploading it. So I think actually probably the number of this meeting recording did not make it, or this meeting recording did not make it in its entirely, and doesn't reflect us for what it's worth.
Yeah, it's only reflecting 6 that are included in the automated process.
Fair enough.
That makes sense. So is the plan, I guess, for SIG security to continue to be its own manual process?
I think so. I mean, you were around for the discussion yesterday. Like, I think the trade-off of ease and speed of being able to automate those video uploads, at least for the moment, does not feel like that the possibility of having something embargoed go immediately into public record, the trade-off doesn't feel worth it at the moment.
Yeah.
To maybe give some context here, Nigel is the only was the only person handling all of the videos, and this is just to reduce the workload on Nigel.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. I'm
But I
not
didn't-
opposed to this in
yeah.
any way. I'm just giving context because Kaz
Yeah,
brought it up.
sure. I mean,
Yeah.
it's also up to each SIG as far as I know. I know that someone posted this week if we can support or ContribEx can support with the automation of the process. And once we have a real automation that does not involve manual work, then we will approach the SIGs. I think this was the outcome of the ContribEx meeting. So for now, we just try to implement the flow, and then once it's there, we offer it as a service. So a SIG can take it, but no one is forced to use it. That was the outcome of it.
Cool. After hearing that in SIG security, I just wanted to make sure both sides of this process are aligned on that.
Yeah.
Since we happen to have folks who work on both sides of it here. Love these meetings. Cool. Anything
Classic
else on the...
collaboration is cool.
It's so cool. Anything else on the Zapier stuff? Cool. The next one is also a Zapier thing, so I think we've covered that. And then the sensitive communications processes thing. So there is an outline that Chris created a couple weeks ago. I guess that was like 3 weeks ago at this point. More than that. And so I mentioned that in the SIG security meeting, but I said we'll pick it back up after KubeCon because I know that I don't have time to see that through right now, and I assume no one else does either. So, and that's it for our in progress items. We have 4 minutes left, and we're done with in progress items. This is better than normal. Short meeting this week. So I guess I will fill that by going through the to-do items real quick, unless anyone has anything that they want to bring up real quick right now.
No, I need to drop, but that's
Cool.
so just want to say bye to everyone.
You're
Cheers.
welcome for the short meeting.
Bye-bye. I'm
Have a
taking
good
the
day.
6 minutes and rejoice.
Yeah. Thanks, Frederico.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
I also need to drop, and I will try to appear more frequently and enjoy the
Nice.
meeting.
It was
Bye,
good to have
everyone.
you today. Bye,
Yeah,
Jay.
Me too.
I also need
Cool.
to drop today.
Awesome.
But thank you. I appreciate all of you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining.
Have a lovely day, everybody. Bye.
You too. Bye.
I can't say bye. If I say bye, my dogs spring up.
Oh, I see. Understandable. Cool. So I don't think I need to go over the to-do list items with this group. So I think we're done with the meeting for now. And I'll go ahead and stop the recording.
I had asked Vishal about the SIG infra blog.
Oh, Cicade's info blog. You wanted to talk about that? Go ahead.
No, actually, that is assigned to. Okay, so the guide has the electricity went off. But I'm saying,
Yeah, Bishal.
I messaged Vishal regarding it, and like I'm waiting for the response.
Oh,
Like
cool.
if he
Thank
is
you.
still interested in doing it or not.
Awesome. I kept meaning to do that and I keep not doing it. So I appreciate you doing that. Cool. So we were gonna hang out and work on writing those tweets, but I don't think we need that on the recording. So
Yeah.
I think I'll go ahead and stop the recording. Thanks for joining today. Bye, YouTube.